With everything going on in the world, people need to be uplifted. They need something that promotes character, creativity, confidence, and joy. The GRN show is not just an average talk show. The topics are powerful and will make you think. Join me on this journey to be informed, to relate, to connect, and to evolve. Good evening and welcome. My name is Gatel Ruiz Nicholas, your host for the GRN show. By nature, we are social creatures. And as human beings, we thrive on social interactions to maintain a healthy life and a healthy mind. And I think the digital world and social media really taps into those needs. They allow friends and family to stay connected. They have different groups of similar interests connect, and you even have platforms for different professional groups as well as, you have companies who are able to target the market that they want to reach. So social media is into every aspect of our life. And tonight we have a guest who is a maven in social media. She actually started 10 years ago in 2011. And think about it, Facebook started in 2006. So it was only 5 years after Facebook, 4 years after Instagram. So she's been at it for a while and her story is wonderful. As a Haitian American, she really took this digital world and really exploded with it for people like herself who did not know much about their homeland and wanted to hear more. So I have with me tonight Wanda Tima. She is a wife, she is a director of marketing, she is a blogger, and most importantly, she is the founder of Linear Suite. Wanda, good evening and welcome. What a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh my God, what an amazing welcome. I'm listening to, I'm like, oh, that's right. You just really made me think about how long ago we started and where Facebook and Instagram was. And I was like, wow, that is so true. Thank you. I'm so
Yeah.
happy to be here. I'm always excited to have any conversation about social media. So thank you so much for inviting me to be here. It's Haitian Heritage Month. So to have an opportunity to talk to family is always a pleasure.
Absolutely. And as a pioneer in the field, I have to tell you, one of the things we found out during COVID is that so many small businesses, particularly, businesses, small businesses from the Caribbean, which are the restaurant, they know nothing about social media, which is one of the reasons I say, you know what, I'm going to bring the best of the best. And we're going to talk a little bit about everything in social media.
Yeah.
So I am so excited for you and happy for you because you've created something wonderful, L'Union Suite. Tell-
Yes.
How did that all come about?
A little bit of what you pretty much said. So I grew up Turks Islander and Haitian, but I didn't really know that much about my Haitian side. I was in Grand Turk, and when I moved to South Florida, I would tell people I was Haitian, and they would ask me to speak Creole or try to connect with me from that space, and I couldn't. So for a long time, from middle school, high school, and college, I struggled to just fit in for what I considered my people. I just didn't fit. So I always in this space of where I just didn't know who I was and I couldn't connect. And I had this envy in my heart to just be connected to my Haitian friends or Haitian
Yes.
family members. And it was like, why don't I know more? Why haven't I been to Haiti? So, and I was in this space after college where I was just trying to learn more about myself and where I came from. And I just started researching Haiti. So when I started researching, the first thing I found was the history. And I was like, oh my God, this is so amazing. But I couldn't really find many of the other things that like my platform catered to. There wasn't really a lot of articles and magazines and news happening that wasn't political or charity driven. So I was like, why isn't there a space to where you can learn all this information and still have fun content and connect with other Haitians around the world? And that's how Linya Suite came about. It was really just a passion project of mine to where I was using it to learn about myself and connect with other Haitians around the world who I felt may have grown up the same as I did, and
Mm-hmm.
create this space for us to learn and grow together. I had no idea that it would be what it is today. It was supposed to be my little after work project for myself. And hopefully I met a bunch of other Haitians and I get to go to Haiti. And that was the plan.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Tell us a little bit about the platform of Linear Suite and what exactly you do for businesses.
Yeah, so Linear Suite pretty much started out as just a blog. We only existed at the beginning online on our website, Linear Suite. Then, of course, we transitioned over to social media, which just made the most sense because I come from the digital space. I have a journalism degree, and I loved everything about social media at the time because, like you said, Facebook was growing, all these other platforms. Tumblr was one of the ones that was big, and I loved the idea of creating content. So I moved it from just the website to Facebook. On Facebook, we're actually the Haitian American. That's a whole other story about why the name is different. And then we moved over to all the social media spaces because it was so much easier and faster to create content and disseminate it and reach more people the way that we were
Mhm.
doing it, because nothing like it existed when I started. Like you couldn't, there was anywhere online where you would go and you were getting constant content about everyday Haitian people, celebrities, entertainment, humanitarian, and even being able to be in like Miami and see what it's like to be at a hotel in Haiti or on the beach. No one was doing a lot of that stuff then. So it was really about pushing the best of the best of the culture. And when we started, it like I hear all these stories with people that say like when they start their businesses, they struggled so much with social media. I've never had that issue because Linear Suite grew faster than I was ready for it to grow. And I remember
Interesting.
we got 100,000 followers really quick on Facebook. It was like it was so fast. I was like, oof, okay. And then when I transitioned to Instagram, because I came on Instagram later, everything happened like really fast for us. And so now that's what the platform pretty much do. We highlight the best of the culture. On Facebook alone, we're reaching, I want to say this week, we're at about 12 million people a week.
12
And
million, did you
yeah,
say? That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. And that's actually a bad week for us because we're normally in the 20s. So I always tell my team, I'm like, if we're under 20 million, we're not doing good. Something is wrong. So so we're at 12 this week. And then on Instagram, we're at about 8 million. And Twitter's about, the same thing. So for me, what I've been able to do with small businesses and how we try to help small businesses is one, offer advertising to them. Because that's honestly one of the main monetizing ways for a business like mine is through advertising. But we
Mm-hmm.
do more than saying, hey, just come advertise with us. A lot of small business that come and advertise with us don't have a marketing team. They don't have a social media team. And a lot of times they don't really know what they're doing, but they need advertisement and they want it online, or their following is low on their platform. So aside from us just saying, hey, let me advertise your work, we kind of sometimes use the opportunity to educate them as well. So when they send content into us, me and my team are really big on this is great, but here's what you can do to help make it better. Here's what will bring you more engagement. Here's what will sell more. Like we at the beginning it was hard because people didn't understand what I was doing. So when I would turn down their advertisement, people were like, what? And but we had to, because for me, I wanted them to understand that the same way that we sell, our product and we put our product out, I want yours to always look just as great. So when we're
Mhm.
sharing your business on our platform, we want people to want to work with you the same way we've worked so hard to make people work with us. So we do a little bit of consulting. We help them with their copy. A lot of times people are not really good at writing captions, and people don't sometimes understand that Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, TikTok, it's all different and it all serves
Yes.
different purposes. So you have people that'll take the same content they have and put it across the board the same way. And you can't do that because, Facebook is for one thing, Instagram is more pictures, and people will come on and try to like do the same thing they do on Facebook. So we definitely make sure we help them more as far as like consulting and giving them more assistance, for their business, and also just highlighting their business. I think is one of the biggest things that we do that help people the most, because someone will give us a 30-second clip and they got 1,000 views on it on their platform, and we'll share it and you get like 40 or 50,000 views of that product. We've had people tell us we help them sell out in an hour or 2 hours. We had people ask us to take their ad down because they
Really?
just,
Oh my God, what a
yeah.
problem to have.
Yeah, I even now to the point, like we even tell people now, our platform is not the place for you to come and advertise if you're not ready. Like if you don't have the product, you don't have it in stock, like I don't even want to take the chance. Because in business, it's a hit or miss. You just never know how people are gonna
Yes.
respond, right? But we've honestly, thank God, have never had the issue to where someone's like, we advertise with you and nothing happened. It's always like, we sold out, take my ad down. Actually, don't share it anymore. Like I'll give you an example. I worked with a insurance agency for the very first time during COVID. They were working on doing insurance for the Haitian community. So they were having a hard time connecting with the Haitian community, and the rep in the company was Haitian, one of the reps. So he reached out to me and said, I work with this national brand and I really need help connecting with the Haitian audience. And what they've done so far is not going to work. So I said, okay, I'll come on board. I'll help you. We'll help create your content. I'll make sure you do some translating. We were supposed to work together for 3 months. We did 1 month with the guy and he disappeared. And me and my sister was like, what happened? Did he get fired? Did he lose his job? I'm like, maybe the campaign did bad. I'd never not have someone reach back out. So 2 months later, I get this text from him. He said, hello, Wanda. I won't say his name, but it was from Bright Health Insurance. He said, sorry, I haven't been in contact. We did over 3,000% of our sales goal, and our Creole speaking agent enrolled over 7,000 members. Believe it or not, your target marketing performed better than what our marketing team did on a national level on social media. I'm extremely thankful for your team and organization and the impact you make in the community. Then he goes on and on to tell us like how he's just been so busy that he didn't have time.
Congratulations. It
Thank
speaks
you.
volume as to the work that you do. And also, I think it goes back to what I said earlier. A lot of the smaller businesses, really, they end up closing or they haven't done well because they did not have that online presence, which is extremely important. So I think it's wonderful that you're able to get that type of outcome for your kids. So, I was doing some research and, Facebook alone has over 1 billion people on Facebook, and you have millions on Twitter and Instagram. My first question, it's a two-pronged question. One is, how do you target your market? Because obviously, you mentioned the different platforms. How do you know, okay, this person regionally or statewide may be better for them? This, and it could be international or nationwide. That's one aspect of, well, I'll do the second one separately. How do you handle that?
So for us, I've had to create my own target audience based on how we operate, right? So because, like I said, we're reaching such a large amount of people. It used to be just Haitians, but now it's pretty much everybody that's interested in Haiti or Haitians in any kind of way. So our audience is worldwide, right? So it's kind of hard for us to do target marketing or regional targeting unless we were to do it via our email list. We have an email list where we try to do it in that sense. But in the social media space, it's kind of difficult unless we were to go in and actually purchase ad space from the platforms. Because then on Facebook, you could be very targeted and you could go through and you pay for it or so on Instagram. But I purposely don't do that because we have done so well with organic content and organic numbers. I purposely do not give these platforms the money.
Send it to everyone.
We just send it to everyone. But what we do is we've done a good job at tailoring our copy for that area. And what I tell people at many times, where people will be like, well, that's not smart, because if I just want, Miami, Florida, I don't want it to go to Paris. But here's the thing about the Haitian market. There's a person in Paris that may have family in Miami. There is a person, in Baltimore that saw it. The person in Miami may not even seen it that time of day or wherever it went out. Maybe the person in Miami didn't see it, but somebody in Baltimore may have saw it, and they have people in Miami, or they have friends in Miami. They're going to send it to them. They're going to tag it. They're going to share it. And one thing about social media is one of those places to where you tell people to do something a large amount of time, they will do it.
In a minute.
So if the copy says, this is happening in Miami today at 2:00, tag your friends in Miami. They're going to tag their friends in Miami. So I had to literally learn how to do that when I realized I didn't want to do the target marketing through paying the social media platforms. And it worked. I didn't think it was going to work, but it worked. And then we created that became a culture on the platform. And once you create a culture, people get used to the same thing over and over and over. It just becomes something that they're not even thinking about. They know this is how our content works.
Great. Now, this is more for the individual users. I believe there should be some etiquette. It's brand new on, the digital world. It's fairly new. And, how do you follow the etiquettes of social media? Obviously, people make comments, all of the ways of interacting with the media platform. But what are some key etiquettes you want individuals to really keep in mind as they're using social media?
I always tell people, whatever you put online, even though there is a delete button, there is an archive button for sure. A lot of times you may not have that luxury, because there's also another thing called screen grabbing, screenshotting, whatever you want to call it. So even though it may have been up for 5 minutes and you retract it, somebody may have already screen grabbed it, and it will live on the internet forever, which is why now you have a lot of these celebrities and people that said things back in 2010 and 2008 when they were younger and it didn't matter. And these things are coming back and they're using it as part of the cancel culture. So one of the best things with social media, do not put anything up that you have to delete at some point. Do not say anything that may jeopardize you, your career, your family, or, anything to that extent. Yes, there's a comment section. Yes, there's, freedom of speech. You're welcome to say whatever you want to say, for sure. But you also have to think about how that will affect you as an individual, or also affect your brand. If you're the type that is okay with anything happening once this information is out, or whatever content you put out, then sure. But you have to think about the long-term effects of everything you do on social media. Our social media platforms, and a lot of us professionals, that's our digital resume. What you say, what you do, how you act, what you wear, what you don't wear, what you post, what you don't post. Like, you're creating a culture for yourself on these platforms. And whatever you create, that's what people are going to believe.
Yes.
So you have to think about that when you're creating this content, or you're posting, or, and a lot of times, like, people will fall into this category of, they start posting a certain way for their brand, but they notice this other thing is working for this other person. And then they'll try to do that. And then it kind of hurt them, what doesn't work. It's because you have to know and have a great understanding of what your brand represents, and you just stick to it. So one of the biggest things I always say to people, like, even on my platform, I don't put out any information that I don't want online. And I don't allow anybody to put me in a situation to do that. Yes, I see nasty comments. I see people say a lot of bad things about me. I see all of those too. But I also have friends.
Things about you?
Oh yeah, I've gotten death threats. I've gotten
oh my
all kinds of things.
goodness.
Yeah, I've been bullied. The people on Twitter used to bully me so much that it was like I used to have to just not even go on Twitter. I had to learn how to just block people, and it's not easy. Once you put yourself out there in that space, that stuff is gonna come. But what I tell people is, you have to kind of be mentally prepared for some of that too. And what I've done is I have other ways. I have my friends, I have my family. I'll call them, yell, scream, do whatever I need to do offline, for sure.
So one day you said you've gotten death threat?
Oh yes.
Unbelievable.
I've gotten death threats. I've been bullied. I've gotten like nasty comments from people. I've gotten it all. And people will tell you, like, you're doing this amazing thing. You're only talking about the positive things of your culture. Why would anybody, be upset at you? That's the world that we live in. That's how the
That's the
digital
world.
space works. Yeah.
Haters. When, a lot of times when you're doing well, and that's one of the challenges, when you do well, you will always have somebody,
Yep.
who doesn't like what you're doing. So I think you're doing a wonderful job. I love the concept of what you do. And I think you're doing a wonderful service to the Haitian American community. You're definitely leaving a legacy, which I love.
Thank you so much.
Other individuals, on the other hand, they say, I don't use social media. And I think maybe a lot of the small business owners that were having a hard time is because they say, I don't use Facebook. I am not online. What do you tell individuals that feel, okay, this is not for me because I don't want to be out there? Do you think this is something at one point everyone will have to get on board with?
I think if everybody or anybody haven't gotten on board with it as of now, especially after last year when everyone pretty much was forced to be in the digital space, then I don't even know what else, anyone can possibly tell you because the world is moving online. Schools are online. Like, it's like we're in this digital space now more than we ever have been. And what I tell people that feels like they don't need social media, sometimes it's about reshaping your idea of what social media is and the purpose of why you use it, right? And I said it earlier when I used the word your digital resume. That's what that is now. That is your digital resume of work. I've gotten jobs, I've gotten calls, I've gotten all kinds of things, all because of what my personal branding looked like on my page or the content that people were seeing us put out there. Because when you put stuff on social media, it's not just on social media, it also goes in Google. You have a digital footprint in all of these other places, from hashtags and different spaces for people to find you, right? So it's literally like you're constantly selling a product. Sometimes you're the product, sometimes the product is your business. So even if you're not consistent, so what a lot of social media people will tell you is this idea of you have to post this many times, and that's what scares people, right? People get in this concept of, I can't do all of that, that is another job, I don't have time,
Mhm.
to do this additional thing. But what people don't understand is because everything is moving in the social media space, there is an app for every single thing you don't want to do to help you do it. There's an app for you to literally sit down on a Sunday and schedule every single thing you want to go out on social media from
Love
Monday
it,
to
love
that
it, love it.
following Sunday. So there's all these other things that you can use, these programs and things you can do. You just need to kind of dedicate some time into like learning some of them to make your life easier, or finding someone that can give you the information. But if you have a business right now, it is not a good idea not to be online. Some of
Yes.
these grants and funding and financial institutes, and even a lot of these people that are giving out money and doing all this other stuff now, they ask for your social media platforms. They're asking for you. They want to see what your digital footprint looks like online, because it helps you too. It helps you. It helps these brands. It helps your business a lot. And I think a lot of it is just take away the fear of how much work it is and start thinking about the benefits of it. Think about someone you having a bakery in Fort Lauderdale or in Miami Gardens, and someone being on vacation, and all they just go on IG and they tap in bakery, Miami Gardens, and your business pop up with all these other business. And even if you only have 3 pictures on your Instagram, you still pop up. You still exist. It's there.
Yes. A Google presence. And so, in a nutshell, tell us what are let's say the services and digital presence includes not only the social media, it
Hmm.
includes, you know best, from the website on. Give us the full
Yep.
menu.
Yep. It includes, of course, websites. People think websites are dead. Not true. It is great for you to have a website, even if you only have a landing one page. You need a website, because the thing about these social media platforms, they don't belong to us. So you can have your 2, 3, 400,000 followers. Something happens one day and your page gets snatched or it's deleted, that's gone. You have to start over from scratch. So you need a website. It's great to have social media platforms. I myself, because in the space I'm in, I'll tell you to have every single one, right? But you don't need to have every single one. Some people, it makes sense for you to just be on Facebook. It makes sense to be on Instagram. Some people just like Twitter. I think it's great for you to have a social media platform on every single one, so you can lock down your business name.
Yes.
Because what happens is a lot of times people will start a event, or they'll start a party or any other thing that may match the same as your business name. Now, when you decide you want to come use it, it's gone. You can't use it anymore because it belongs to this other person for all these other reasons. Buy it before they purchase it, and I have to buy it
Really?
from them. Yeah, that's actually a business. There are people that sit at home that make a business out of just buying popular information or names or sentences or phrases. So then when you come to purchase it for a website or something, they own it and you have to purchase it from them.
Got
So
you.
you want to purchase your name, your business name, any name of an event, a favorite fruit, whatever you have going on in your business, even if you're not going to use it, purchase it for the little $13, $15 a year and just hold on to it in case you decide to use it. It belongs to you. Definitely have a social media a page on every platform, even if all you have is a bio and a few pictures. Have it there, and the one that you like the most, be as active on that one, the one that match your business. Be as active on that one as possible, but snatch up your business name everywhere you can online.
Super, super. This has been so informational, and I am fascinated by social media. I'm not the type who's going to post a new dress, I do that, but I think it is such a wonderful way to connect with family members who are not near. It's a wonderful way to talk about issues. So we could talk about this some more, but you've given us great information, Wanda, and keep up the wonderful work that you
Thank you.
community. And thank you for sharing your expertise with our viewers. So we'll be speaking. Thanks again and have a wonderful night.
Social networking sites can be very useful tools, but they can also have harmful effects if you're not careful. In a world where social networking is immensely popular and expanding every day, it's important to be careful what you put on such sites. Millions of people can easily access information about you if you don't take necessary precautions. Sometimes this information can result in lost employment opportunities, bad reputations, stalking, or even worse. In order to avoid such problems, you can change your privacy settings. However, the best thing is to remember that people can and will see what you post and say online. If what you are posting can potentially put you in a compromising position, don't post it to begin with. For more information and tips on internet security, visit areyouSecure.rutgers.edu/students.
Hello, Dorothy. Good evening.
Good evening, Gitel. How are you?
Doing well. I was quite fascinated by our guest, who is a social media expert, a blogger, a marketing specialist. And, I've learned quite a bit about what she is doing. And, I'm under the impression if you do own a small business, it is so important to really understand how to really target and captivate your audience. So it was quite remarkable.
Interesting. Well, today my topic is children's safety online. Well, there's no doubt that today we live in an advanced digital world that we all are adapting to emerge into. Children today are becoming technically savvy more and more. Staying in touch with their friends and family is just a touch of a finger. And also making new friends online. They love it and have definitely made their life easier for them. There are a lot of great things on social media, that's true, but many risks and danger for kids and teens are even more prevalent today. They're not always going to make the right choices, so it's our job as parents to help them to understand and make the right decisions. So here are some great tips in teaching your children about social media safety. First and foremost, as a parent, educate yourself on social media. Research, know, and educate yourself on the popular social media sites your child may be a member of. For example, TikTok is one, Instagram, Snapchat, and believe it or not, online gaming. A research shows from Statistica, these are among the most popular sites the younger generation likes and use. Secondly, have an open conversation with your children on social media. It's important that if you know your child is on some social media platform, you talk to them about safety. Safety is so important for children today online, and taking the time out to have these conversations can definitely help prevent many risks they can be faced with, and also how to handle them. And finally, set ground rules and guidelines with your children on social media. As a parent, it is so important that you enforce these rules to prevent easy addiction, whether it is online chat they may have, or knowing what to post and not to post. So online gaming can also become an addiction. Remember that. So with these helpful tips, you can definitely help your child to be
Sweet. It really is essential that we understand not only the different platforms, but also, if we have a business, and even ourselves as individuals, we really need to understand how they can impact our lives, as well as whether or not we should have a presence on them. It is my opinion. On, and you have 4 or 5 year old using YouTube, swiping through their parents' phone. All of those monitoring devices need to be put in place so that your children are not on sites where they should not be. Again, I am fascinated by social media. I am again very thankful to both Wanda and to Coach Dorothy for their contribution to this segment. And to you, my viewers, I am so thankful for you spending this evening with us. So until next Saturday, have a wonderful evening. Thank you.